So I recently bought the JBL Charge 6. Now this is taking everything that was great about the award-winning JBL Charge 5, just adding a whole bunch of extra features, but it's also costing more as well. So in this video, we're going to go through what the extra features are, whether it's worth buying. There's definitely a couple of things you need to be aware of before you go out and buy it. And there's one issue that I had that might be a deal breaker for you, and we'll go into what that was as well. So let's check it out. Looking at the design of this speaker, and it looks fairly similar to the previous Charge 5. It is a little bigger though. It's around 9 inches long and about 4 inches deep and tall. And it's put on a bit of weight since the Charge 5 as well. This now weighs 3 pounds or 1.37 kilos. So it's definitely getting on the heavier side of a portable speaker. Other than that though, it's a very similar design to the previous Charge 5. So over the top here, you've got all of your buttons. So you've got your play button in the middle, which does play, pause, skip forwards, and it does skip backwards as well. You've got the volume up and down buttons on either side. Then above it, you've got the power button, the Bluetooth pairing button, and an Auracast button as well, which we'll get to later. You've also got these rubberized bumpers on either side. That helps give it some drop protection. So it's been drop protected up to 1 meter. So if you happen to drop this, it's going to survive a fall. On the back, you then have the USB-C charging port. Now, not only can that charge the speaker, but the speaker can also be used to charge other things as well. And then on the bottom, you've got these 2 rubber strips, which help keep it nice and flat on whatever you happen to put it onto. On the top here, you've also got these 2 hook points here. This is so you can attach the handle. That is actually really handy because it means you can just carry it around or loop it over your arm whilst you're trying to carry a whole bunch of stuff. And then it is completely surrounded in this plastic fabric grille, which keeps it nice and robust and waterproof and pretty tough. The speaker is also IP68 rated, so it is not only waterproof, but it is dust proof as well. The 8 in the IP68 means that you can put it into up to or over 1.5 meters of water for around 30 minutes. However, the depth isn't really much of an issue because the JBL Charge 6 does float. So if you happen to drop this off the edge of a boat or jump in it or drop it in a pool, then you can easily pick this up again. There are 2 ways that you can connect to this speaker to play music. You've got your traditional Bluetooth, so there's Bluetooth 5.4 in here, so you can connect it to your mobile phone, your laptop or whatever. But that USB-C port that's at the back now also allows lossless audio connection using a USB-C cable. So if you happen to have some lossless music that you want to play, you can just plug it in the back, play lossless music. Battery wise, the JBL Charge 6 will give you 24 hours of playback from a single charge, and it takes 3 hours to charge back up to full. However, the JBL Charge 6 is also equipped with fast charging, where a 10-minute charge is going to give you 150 minutes of playback. You can actually get an extra 4 hours of playback if you enable their Party Boost feature. So you could get up to 28 hours of battery life. However, that Party Boost feature significantly changes the sound quality of this speaker. It basically completely rolls off all of the bass so that you can get more battery life. I don't think the drop in audio quality is worth it for the extra battery life, so I'd recommend not turning it on. Moving on to the sound, and you will get 45 watts of power from this speaker. Now that's 30 watts from the woofer, 15 watts from the tweeter. Now that does mean that because there's only one woofer and one tweeter, that this is a mono speaker, not a stereo one. Now I don't think that will be an issue for most people, but it might be an issue for some. Having said that, you can pair 2 JBL Charge 6s together to get stereo pairing, and then you do get stereo sound. You just have to buy 2 of them. And frequency response on this is actually better than the previous Charge 5, albeit slightly. So this frequency range is now 56 Hz up to 20 kilohertz. You do have a bit of extra bass over the previous Charge 5. It also comes equipped with an AI sound boost, which, you know, everything has AI written into it these days. Basically, I think it's a compressor by the sounds of it that helps to get a lack of distortion from the speaker when you start to push it to higher volumes. And so if you want to know what this sounds like, here's a sound test so that you can hear what it sounds like for yourself. Now do bear in mind you're listening through your speakers of a YouTube video of this mic recording this speaker, so it's not going to be the same as if you're in the room with it, but hopefully it gives you some indication of what it's like.
Your body's killing me.
what did you think of the sound? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, I actually personally really enjoyed it. I like JBL speakers in general. It's very V-shaped sound profiles. You get a bass boost and you get a treble boost. The really good thing about this speaker though, is that if you don't like that, you can finally change the sound of this with a certain degree of control. Because the mobile app that comes with the Charge 6, that comes with a 7-band EQ, which allows you to tailor the sound to exactly how you want it. So if you want more bass or less bass or more treble or less treble, you want to emphasize the mids, you can do all that and have a play around with it. The mobile app does come with 4 presets, but again, the best way of getting the best sound of this, if you don't like the default sound, is to jump into that 7-band custom EQ. It works really well. It's taken JBL a while to start offering us this with their speakers, so it's good to see it available on the Charge 6. But overall, the sound is great. There's a good amount of bass for a speaker of this size. The passive radiators on either side definitely help give it that little extra boost. Plus the trebles as well are emphasized without being harsh. One other feature that's on this speaker is Auracast, which is the button I talked about at the top at the start. Now, this allows you to pair lots of other JBL speakers and other JBL Charge 6s that all have Auracast support to each other to play the same music out of all the speakers at the same time. You could have 50 JBL Charge 6s and you can connect them all together to play the same music at the same time. That's great because Auracast is a Bluetooth standard rather than a JBL standard. The downside of it is that it's not backwards compatible with previous versions of their multi-speaker system. So previously you had Party Boost, so you could connect a Charge 5 to another Charge 5. You now can't cross compatibility them, so you can't connect a Charge 5 to a Charge 6. Now, the one issue that I had with this speaker was that you can actually attach a handle to this, which I actually found really, really useful. Unfortunately, it broke, and it broke only after a couple of uses. Like, I really haven't used it that much with the handle before the handle broke. And I've had a look online and I'm not the only one. This is a common problem with lots of people, even finding that the handle's broken out of the box. Now you can phone up or get in contact with JBL or where you bought something from, and they might, or they should, be replacing the handle for you. But for me, that talks about a fundamentally flawed design, or at least a manufacturing fault in how those handles are made. So I can't use it. And even if I get another handle or I get a replacement from JBL, which I should, I don't know that I would trust the handle to keep my speaker safe. Because the last thing I want, I know I did say that it was drop tested, but the last thing I want to be doing is just, I don't know, I'm holding my speaker at the top of a cliff and the handle breaks and it falls off the edge of a cliff. I don't know, I just wouldn't trust it. I would actually recommend just getting some paracord or any kind of outdoor or climbing rope, and then just making your own handle, and that for me would be way more secure. That's really the only issue that I've had with this speaker. So for some people that's going to err them on the side of caution that they probably won't buy this, but if you're not going to use the handle, not really an issue. So overall, I think the JBL Charge 6 is a great speaker. I mean, I've loved the JBL Charge range of speakers for years, and really the Charge 6 just takes that and just improves it. I mean, it goes louder, it's got better sound quality, better battery life than previous generations. It is more expensive now. So this is now $200 retail, but at the moment on Amazon, it is costing $130. Now that is a crazy price. I have no idea how long it's going to be around for at that price. So I would definitely recommend checking it out via the link in the description down below before it goes back up to 200 bucks. If you are looking for something a little bit smaller than the Charge 6 though, then I'd recommend checking out the JBL Flip 7. I've already done a review of that speaker and you'll find that link in the somewhere up here. Other than that, thanks for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please don't forget to like and share it. Consider subscribing if you're not. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.